Sorry about last week. It was crazy last week. My phone
Oh,
was
good.
blowing
I
up.
get it.
Must be nice to be wanted.
It's nice to be
Rather
needed.
not be.
Hello, my friends.
Thank you for joining us for the PEBCAK Podcast, a weekly information security show featuring some all-around good people. It is week 17 of 2026. I'm Chris Louie, and glad I got to see Brian while he was out here visiting. With me, we have my co-host, the Cloud God, who was kind enough to bring me a bottle of champagne to celebrate with once my yard is done.
Bro,
go.
this week feels so long that I can't believe that I actually saw you this week. It feels like that was a long time ago.
Yeah, I was all like,
I don't know, that's like a month ago, right? Yeah.
What are you, in and out? In and out of the Bay Area?
Yeah, I came in for an EVC and then jumped on a plane to fly to San Antonio. And it was like one of those things where like I could have gone home, but then I would have just come home for like the afternoon and then flown out that night so I could be here in San Antonio for this meeting. So yeah.
Are you in San Antonio right now?
That's okay.
You're in San Antonio? Wow.
Yeah. Remember the Alamo. Remember 9/11. Never forget, guys.
What movie star peed on the Alamo? Or what famous rock star's fervor band?
Chevy Chase.
No.
Mick Jagger.
No idea.
Mick Jagger. Was it Mick Jagger? I don't think it was Mick Jagger.
I don't
The
know.
guy that says, pour some sugar on me.
Neil Young.
Huh. No. What?
Shania Twain.
You can't throw out trivia like that without knowing the answer, Glenn.
Michael Jackson.
Alamo.
Muhammad
Phil
Ali.
Collins.
No.
In the year of the...
Ozzy Osbourne.
Ozzy Osbourne.
Gene Simmons.
Yeah, Ozzy Osbourne.
No, I think it was...
Yeah,
Man,
you're a fan
Glenn
after that.
is slow-mo today, man.
I am. Dude, I'm tired. I'm done.
All right.
Put a
Well,
fork in me. I normally would go out and get pizza tonight, but it's like, ugh. I don't think I'm going to go.
Bro, if I was there, I'd go get pizza with you right now. That sounds good. Oh, by the way, and we have Glenn Medina.
and we have
Back
Glenn
this week from
Medina,
Sin...
who still is in Sin City, and hopefully here for the show for the entire hour, unlike last week. So how is that $13 Snickers bar, Glenn?
Not bad. No, I'm just kidding. It's terrible. Who pays $13 for a Snickers? I know, people that are here
Somebody
in
does.
Vegas. Yeah.
I know, it's
crazy.
like the X algorithm. I follow, I think his name's Jacob from Las Vegas or something. He makes good content, and ever since I followed him, like I'm getting targeted with like Las Vegas influencers and promoters, and a lot of the videos they make actually are very critical of the Las Vegas tourism industry, and they show things like off the strip places and all these hidden secrets you didn't know. But one of the things that they do is like to show out how outrageous some of the prices on the strip have gotten. And the last video that I watched happened to be like someone took a Snickers bar from, I think it was at the MGM where you're at, Glenn. And there's no prices, of course, on the Snickers bar. So they take it up to the cashier and says, excuse me, ma'am, how much is a Snickers bar? They scan it like, it's $13. Like literally, it's not even a joke. Like the Snickers bar literally costs $13.
Well, yeah, I mean, water costs like 15, right? The bottled water in the room, it's like 15 or $20. It's like,
Or
I'm not
Corona
touching
is
that.
even like $19.
Yeah.
That's the reason why the hotel room's $20, guys. Like you're paying for it and everything else.
I don't think it's $20 anymore, bud. So yeah, it hasn't been $20 in a while.
So that's true. Like the rooms are like $20 to $50, but then like the resort fee is like $100. So that's how they get you.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Anyways, yeah, we're not crapping on Las Vegas here for obvious reasons, but
Or are we?
or are we?
We do have a last-minute guest, and it's my multiple personalities today.
Duke Silver, everybody.
drunk
Evil
pieces.
Brian.
Evil Brian.
Drunk-
Evil Brian's here today.
Drunk Beach is here today.
All right, well, I guess now's the time to introduce our guest, Evil Brian, or also known as Duke Silver or Uncle Barbecue. Welcome to the show.
No. Evil Brian's way different than any other guest we've ever had, and he's gonna get everyone in trouble. So he'll just be quiet.
All right, sounds like a plan. Combined, we have decades of information security experience here, not just to educate, but to entertain. We've got 4 awesome stories for you this week, so sit back, relax, and I was surely disappointed that I was not selected as the new CEO of Apple.
You didn't get the
So
call?
2 things on that.
I didn't get the call. Unfortunately, I was like waiting by the phone. I'm like, come on, where's my call? I expected to be the next CEO of Apple.
So number 1, on the whole decades of security experience, customer saw the PEBCAK sticker on my thing. He's like, how long you been in IT? I was like, well, I mean, it's used for like 9 years. And I was like, I don't know, like maybe 20. And then I sat there and did the math. I'm like, oh my God, it's like been like 30 years I've been doing this. I'm like, this is insane.
Is it crazy?
No wonder. Yeah. I'm like, I can't be that old. And then the other part is, he's like, yeah, he's like the PEBCAK thing, like kind of clued him in. Like that's kind of an older saying. So maybe we'll have a guest.
Sweet.
And then I didn't like, Tim Cook retired? I don't understand what's going on with Apple. I missed this.
He's semi-retiring. He's going to be chairman of the board. He won't be CEO anymore.
Oh, who'd they announce?
He's going to go.
I don't recall his name right now, but he was a hardware guy.
He's going to go play Call of Duty every day and just chill.
Yeah, so Steve Jobs is a hardware guy. Tim Cook was a services guy. And then now they're putting a hardware guy back in charge.
He was when services because he was a Pepsi guy. Right?
Yeah, like when you think about the history of Apple, like under Steve Jobs, iPod, iPad, MacBook Pro, MacBook Air, every like great innovation, Apple Watch was under Steve Jobs. And what did Tim Cook release? He released like a really expensive pair of goggles that nobody uses. But what he did do was he converted every iPhone user into an iCloud user, an Apple TV user, an Apple Workout Plus user. And Glenn has that whatever plus subscription. So he's definitely like a services guy, operations guy.
Bro, this guy's 50 years old and it's over $1 trillion company.
John Turnus.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought they would have hired like I don't know, some young kid who still vapes. Put him in charge. Throw some Roblox at him.
Yeah, it's a salary.
Yeah.
All right. This week we're going to talk about 2 closing the loop topics. Polymarket gone wild. Apple, speaking of which, fixes a Signal side channel attack. For our third topic, the unexpected fruit when a company fails. And close with NES talk. And I should add to Brian's point earlier, I am in my 20th year of information security, so I know you're much older than me, so it doesn't surprise me that you've been in the business longer than 20 years.
Not by much, though, you fruit. Keeping this PG. Evil Brian's singing.
Are we, with Evil Brian, does that make us like a century at that point?
It might be.
Yeah.
Or does he split time inside of Brian's head? So
yeah, with all the split personalities, who knows?
Yeah.
That's wild. It's wild.
All right. Quick closing the loop. U.S. CISA has ordered federal agencies to patch the Blue Hammer vulnerability, which, if you remember, was the 0-day that was dropped without the responsible disclosure back when we had David on the show. That security research went on to drop 2 more 0 days of proof of concept exploit code for Microsoft Windows, much to Microsoft's annoyance. So they're just still dropping this 0-day, and CISA is like patch immediately.
You think they're just using AI now to find all these vulnerabilities?
Yeah, this guy's going to be out of the headlines pretty soon when Mythos is out there just crawling the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you guys see so Firefox on LinkedIn posts that they are like vulnerability free.
Because no one uses
a little
them.
badge.
Yeah, I think that's a little misnomer.
Yeah.
No, it says vulnerability free. They fixed all the vulnerabilities, and then you go to click in and read the article, and it says they fixed 108. I'm like, there was 271. How the hell are you vulnerable free? I don't understand this math.
This is how math works.
So does this mean that Mythos is going to come through and just make it all code secure? So then we're just back to just securing really dumb people? Is that the net here?
It's all software, right? It's like this until the software finds a fault with the actual software itself. So it's a big circle jerk, right?
I think friend of the show, Brad, had a good take on this. He wrote an internal blog that I read earlier, and he basically said that mythos is, yes, it's great. It's really great at finding vulnerabilities, but if nobody has the action to fix anything, then this really doesn't mean anything. And we've seen this time and time again. You know, I meet with customers all the time, and one of the conversations we have is, yeah, we know about these vulnerabilities, but patching is hard. Patching is hard. And great, we know about 218 zero-day vulnerabilities, but patching is hard. And these companies are going to go into their internal code and say, sure, I found 4,000 vulnerabilities. How do we prioritize that? We can't fix 4,000 vulnerabilities overnight. I mean, we're in 2026 and we're still seeing people popped with Log4j and things that were fixed ages ago that they just don't patch. And I mean, I think that's the moral of the story. Patching is hard.
Meanwhile, I get that meme where he's like, "This like I sell UVM. You're gonna help prioritize that." But you know, the crazy part is like the next iteration, right? It's mythos on, instead of just crack, it's going to meth, where now it's gonna write the code for you to fix it. And so then like you're just like, like it seems like a great idea on paper, but then like all of a sudden your code is just gonna be just full of bloat. And just like, you know, like an alcoholic who's been drinking for like 50 years. It's like that. He's like, his liver is like actually protruding from his body. It's just like bloated, tender to the touch. And then like, it's just going to be like, you know, Mythos clean AA version, which is going to be like, oh, this is code optimization. Like, I just feel like it's going to be a never ending cycle. And like, let's be real. Like, what is like Mythos is just Qualys on meth.
Yeah.
Right. It's just faster. But I guess it does. The only thing it does well is where it kicks in the autism fact of like it chains the vulnerabilities together, which makes it a little bit more unique. Right.
Right. Yeah.
By the way, I took the autism test. My God. It's horrible. Like, it's like you were a high functioning autistic person. I'm not even lying. Like, it was like, do you do this? Yes, 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 no. It was out of like 50 questions. It was like 2 no's. I'm like, what does this mean?
You're high on spectrum.
High functioning.
Very much so. High functioning, but like very much like, oh, are you like, do you not take social cues? Do you understand why people are crying? I'm like, yep.
Do you take medications? No. Those are the 2 no's.
But no, like some of the questions, I'm like, if I'm being honest with myself, yeah, like that sounds exactly like me. So,
yeah.
Oh, that's the first step, at least recognizing it.
Yeah.
That's part of
Anyways,
being
we're
drunk
talking about
is recognizing that you're an alcoholic, right? So.
We're talking about the Blue Hammer vulnerability, guys.
Yeah, the second closing loop topic is 41-year-old Angelo Martino, a former employee of a cybersecurity IR team called Digital Mint. He has pleaded guilty to targeting U.S. companies in Black Cat ransomware attacks back in 2023. So at the time we did the story, we said there were 3 people involved. 2 had already pled guilty. The third one finally pleaded out, and he was guilty of infecting his own customers with ransomware, acting as a negotiator, and then taking his cut of the ransomware payments.
You should have come up with a cool hacker name like D'Angelo Vickers. I think that would have been better than just like your government name.
Yeah.
For those of you who got that joke, I appreciate you. You two suck.
Leave it in the comments if you got that joke.
Yeah, please.
All right, for our first topic, prediction markets just had one of their craziest weeks ever. The first story is straight out of Paris. Someone allegedly used a hairdryer on an unguarded weather sensor at Charles de Gaulle Airport. They spiked the temperature reading at the perfect moment, turning 2 small bets into roughly $34,000 profit on Polymarket's daily high temperature markets by betting on a long shot, nearly impossible high temperatures. So the prediction market basically said, what's the highest temperature recorded in Paris today? And everyone said, well, it's going to be 28°C. That seems reasonable. This guy says, no, it's going to be 33, which seemed outrageous, but had really long odds. And then he went up there, used his hairdryer, and sure enough, it hit 33°C. France's Weather Service just filed a criminal complaint for, quote, unauthorized access to meteorological equipment.
So did they pay
It's
it?
just no winning. Yeah.
Polymarket, yeah, they did pay it out. I mean, they operate on the Oracle system. They operate on cryptocurrency. So he did get paid out, but he is going to be in a world of hurt when it comes to legal costs and restitution.
If they can catch him.
Not possible.
34,000 is a lot of money in Uber drives. He'd be halfway across the country.
It's still though, like 34,000 profit. Is that all? Really? You couldn't bet more than that? What the heck?
That's the problem with Kalshi, however you say it. It's just like, yeah, you can bet $1 to win $1.08. Like, what the hell? Get out of here. Like, I'm not really 8 cents on this bet. Yeah.
I'm
You
done.
have to be a real degenerate loser that wears a BurgerFi shirt.
I am no longer doing these bets, these bets with you guys. I always lose money when I'm doing these things. Let's go do some
keep doing it,
coins.
and then I'll do the
Let's
inverse
blend.
just like I do the I do the inverse Allen, and I make tons of money that way. I'll do the inverse blend.
Yeah. No longer. I am not your sucker. I'm not your huckleberry. So
funny you say that. You said 34,000 is not a lot of money. So at the same time, I just this day, breaking news, a U.S. Army Special Forces Master Sergeant was federally charged today. Prosecutors say he used classified intelligence from the January Nicolas Maduro raid on Venezuela to win over $400,000 on Polymarket. He allegedly bet on long shots right before the operation went public, then tried to hide the winnings by laundering the crypto through tumblers. This marks the first insider trading case on a prediction market, and now he faces decades in prison. Now, these are two totally different exploits, one with a hairdryer, one with top secret military information, but the same lesson. Prediction markets are only as good as their oracles and the humans that are feeding them data.
But if you had it in tumblers, how did he get caught though? Because it was in tumblers, right? The whole point here is that you could have it all disappear and stay anonymous.
It's the long arm of the law. They found the money. Like, this guy just had access to this classified intelligence. He opened up a crypto account that just happened to get $400,000 deposited to it right after the Maduro raid. And it's like,
I think someone narked on him because Kalshi didn't want to pay it off.
Either narc or he made an OPSEC slip up, or it's just like, yeah, just park it offshore for a bit and just wait.
Yeah.
So we're gonna accuse this hero of any wrongdoing? Come on now. Like, look at all the other insider trading that happens by literally our lawmakers every single day.
Oh, yeah. True. Like leering and the
clear, yeah, and the clear market manipulation that's going on right now with everything.
Yeah.
One thing I will agree on with other people on the old LinkedIn, but yeah, like, and we're gonna pick on this guy that like literally puts his ass out on the line for us. Whatever. I mean, yeah, he's probably wrong, but he could have died that day, everyone. You guys be jerks.
Let him profit $400,000 on classified intelligence.
It's a master sergeant, though, man. That's pretty high up there.
But he who has not ever done this cast the first stone.
Yeah.
All right, I guess I'll cast the first stone because I'm a good old boy. So
I don't know. 400,000 is still not enough for me to do it. Look at this guy. He's got lifetime in jail now. Stripped of rank, dishonorable discharge.
Yeah. It's a lot of scratch.
Yeah. That's not enough. Not enough. I'm sorry. No. Yeah. I think we all said it.
Now, if that was 400 million?
Definitely. Now we're talking.
I don't know. He could retire comfortably in the Philippines on that.
400,000?
Does he get to keep the winnings?
No.
It's a victimless crime.
I'm sure there'll be some restitution involved in this.
I actually don't know if that's victimless.
That's wrong. Because I think he could probably argue in his defense. It's like, well, I didn't know it was going to go through. You know, I mean, like, how do I know it was going to be successful?
In the defense.
Yeah.
Define classified, everyone.
Yeah.
The C. I thought the C was for cookie.
C is for nookie.
Nookie.
Yeah, not a traditional like cybersecurity story, but I thought this was interesting from a hacking perspective, at least. Like, you know, the old saying, "Show me the incentive, and I'll show you the outcome." And
nope,
like,
you've never said that once on this podcast in the 252 episodes. I think you've said it every 5 episodes. Yes, that saying. Yes, we're familiar with it.
I'm talking about the guy in Paris where Like, you gotta hand it to him. Like, he's pretty clever. Like, he figured out which temperature sensor they use to determine if whether or not you hit it. And sure, he manipulated the data, but it's like unauthorized access to meteorological equipment. Like,
Gives a shit.
yeah.
Who got hurt in changing the temperature, right?
Yeah. You know what's going to happen now is you have all those people who's like, told you global warming wasn't real.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of, idiots with hair dryers trying to hike up the temperature and make us look dumb so I can't burn more fuel.
Yeah.
By the way, I met with the oil and gas guys when we were talking about my truck. They're like, we love you, man. I was like, yeah, 7 miles per gallon. They're like, keep going. Burn, baby, burn.
Don't tell them about that EV you got. I think it's
not one EV in the parking lot.
Yeah.
By the way.
I think this goes back to, if you remember a couple months ago, we did that sports betting case where Kash Patel said we busted the largest sports gambling rigging ring ever. And I think it goes back to like the integrity of it, that people don't trust it, that if it can be gamed this way, that people are just going to lose faith in the system.
Oh, I thought he was talking about Congress. So when he said that.
I mean, there are losers to this. The people that said it would not go above a certain temperature, like they were actually correct, because this guy only won because he gamed the system. So I don't know if they're due refunds or what, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, right. Sure.
Yeah.
For our second topic, we skipped this story entirely because there was just so much breaking news on the InfoSec front. But to prime the story for today, a few weeks ago, the US FBI was able to retrieve signal messages that were deleted off an Antifa terrorist's iPhone by retrieving the iPhone's notification logs and pulling the content that users thought was gone, sometimes even after the app was uninstalled. Apple just dropped emergency updates fixing an iOS, quote, bug that kept deleted notifications stored on your iPhone even after you wiped the messages. The flaw meant notifications marked for deletion could still hang around on the device's notification database.
Ooh.
Now, as of this recording, Apple fixed it yesterday, so if you update to iOS 26.4.2, iPad OS 26.4.2, and older iOS devices with better data redaction. The update also cleans up old lingering copies, and Signal thanked Apple for the fast patch, calling private communication a fundamental right. So the bottom line here is, if you value your privacy, update your iPhone, and for extra security, you can actually change what gets displayed in the notification to say no name or no content, where it'll just show you that Signal has a new message for you.
So this tells me that the phone must have been unlocked in order for them to access it, right?
I think they were somehow able to access it, even if it was unlocked or through some 0-day, or they just forced them to unlock it, but they were able to access the data that was on the device.
So if you go into notification, I mean, where does this scene, like, where they can see this? Where is it? This is on the actual servers itself.
Yeah, it was probably some kind of like forensic dump that they did on the iPhone.
That's cool. I mean, that's just the mess. Like, it's only one part of the conversation. I guess you have to have the other person.
Yeah.
Right.
When you add everything up together and you add it in context, you can kind of piece together. And this was some Antifa people. They attacked like a federal facility, and they were charged with terrorism, and they were actually, I don't know if they were convicted, but they're definitely charged based on the evidence that they were able to recover from these iPhones.
Yeah. How freaking bored are you? Like, this is obviously something that shouldn't have been there. And someone's just like, oh, I'm just going to check the notifications database, see if it's still in there, even though the phone has been wiped of Signal entirely. Oh, I found it, everyone. Like, that's a crazy thing that actually happened. You know what I mean? Or not, whatever. My internet connection
I'm sure it was
is
probably
unstable.
like one of these.
Yeah, we saw it.
Wow, what you said.
It's very good.
I think it's probably one of these companies like Greylock or Celebrate, one of those companies that they are able to download logs and say, even if somebody deletes the app, like, you can still retrieve the data through the notification settings. They found that this data was still resident on the device even after the app was deleted. And it brings up an interesting point. So, friend of the show, Brett James, he works for us, and he lost his iPhone, unfortunately. He believes it was stolen from a music festival, and he wrote a blog about it. And he wrote some of the recommendations, like if you have a phone, especially if it's a corporate phone, like there's some things you can do. Like there's a setting within the iPhone that says for new text messages received, only show the sender, but don't show the content. And he says that's because if you have like your phone set up for multi-factor authentication for anything, like even unlocked even if it's locked, they can still see what the code is because of the notification that comes in. So if you set it to not show the notification, they're not able to retrieve your multi-factor authentication codes. So that's one of the OPSEC things that he preaches to all his customers and every company he's worked for. Similar to this, that if you don't want your terrorist planning activities to be known, just set Signal to not show the contents of the messages. They won't get stored in the notification database.
Makes sense.
That's I've been doing that for a while. So my messages don't show up. Just like was it Control Center? I don't allow you to turn off Wi-Fi or go into airplane mode inside a Control Center unless you've authenticated in. So that way, so that way, if the phone gets lost or gets stolen, I can still try and ping it while it has a battery. So
So you know the ultimate jerk move is to do with someone's phone is if they have it to where you can talk to Siri even though the phone's locked, be like, hey Siri, turn on all alarms. And then if you're like me and you set a new one all the damn time, it turns on every alarm.
Or you could just take a picture of some funky objects inside your hotel room and make it look like something bad.
I was going to go in a different direction, Glenn. You're like, take some pictures of. I'm like, wait for it.
We've all done that. It's called the brain.
Pencils.
Yeah. Good on Apple. I think it also shows Apple's commitment to privacy. Like we've said it many times before on the show, that Apple is they're not interested in your data. They're not interested in selling you ads. They're interested in privacy. And
so they say.
The fact that they issued a patch for this, they're like, yeah, we recognize this is a gap and we're going to fix that. Versus any other company that says, no, we mine your data. We need this data. And that they don't do it. I wonder if Android does this. Like, that's actually a good question to ask. Does Android do this as well? Do they store Signal notifications in their notification database? Or this is uniquely to Apple and it is, quote, a bug?
Yeah. I wonder if they do the Project Glasswing on this one so they know. It's not a bug, though, right? I mean, technically.
Like red teaming it. Yeah. Yeah, and that's I guess that brings up a good point. It is interesting because this is more of like a novel attack. Like it isn't a vulnerability in the traditional sense, but it is a novel attack. Like it is a side channel attack. Like would AI have caught this to say, I want to retrieve Signal messages from this iPhone that's already deleted the Signal app. Like, can you do it? And then they would have figured this out.
So I need my flip phone, boys.
That's Glenn. Once he retires, he's switching back
to an
analog flip phone.
Maybe another year or two. I may not even have a phone. I won't just ask for a walkie-talkie.
Yeah, it's when these bubbles start turning green. We're like, time to kick Glenn out of the group chat.
That's right.
For our third topic, there's a wild new twist in the AI gold rush. Failed startups are now selling off their old Slack archives, Jira tickets, emails, and Google Drive files as a premium training data set for the next generation of AI models. One founder sold failed companies. Yeah, so these companies that go out of business. One founder sold her company's 13-year-old digital footprint for hundreds of thousands of dollars, turning what looked like worthless leftovers into a clean exit. Companies like Simple Closure are cashing in big, helping shut down businesses monetize this. They call it operational exhaust for AI labs hungry for real-world workplace example data. Data helps train agentic AI that actually gets work done. But as you would expect, privacy experts are sounding alarms. Even with anonymizations, your old jokes, complaints, and internal drama could end up in models or get regurgitated later. Your digital exhaust might outlive your company and make someone else rich. So update those privacy settings and think twice about what you type at work.
Does that include private chats? I just want to know.
Of course.
I would think so. They said Slack data.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you thought was private was not private between two people. So,
and that's what I preach. Like, to anybody who will listen, I will say, if you do something on company chat, like, it, just think of it as writing it on a postcard. It can become public at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as I found when breaking the AI rules at work, that they can still retrieve what they deleted. So
they can still retrieve what was deleted. Yeah.
Yeah. So I long story short, I was doing some fun stuff with a internal chat tool. And then I said that I really love my analogies. And I said, here's a couple analogies that I know I can't use, but I don't want to forget it. And like, maybe we can massage it into a presentation. And it came back and was like, yep, you're right. You can't do that. Close the laptop lid. Because I was landing. Next morning, opened it back up. And I said, hey, let's go back to this chat to reconstruct some of the ideas that I had. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I was like, what do you mean? I'm like, and I start scrolling, and it's everything that I had worked on prior to that analogy for 2 hours was gone. So then I was left, or I should say I was faced with the idea of, do I reach out to IT and admit that I said something super inappropriate and ask them to find it? Or do I just bite my tongue? And it was like, it was so much gold that I couldn't do it. So then I reached out to one of my buddies. I was like, hey, can you guys find this? He's like, yeah, you can. He's like, what'd you say? I was like, I really don't want to tell you, to be honest. But I was like, here's the conversation. And so then he's like, all right, we'll help you out. And the next thing you know, I got some of some of the guys overseas looking for it. And so they're asking me for more context to it. And I'm like, this is exactly what I said. They're like, we don't understand. I was like, well, you don't live in the US. Like, it's not going to make any sense to you, like, as to why this is it. So anyways, I was able to get it back, even though I had broke the rules.
That's awesome.
That's hilarious.
Nothing's ever deleted, Brian. Oh, there you go.
Nothing's ever deleted. It was deleted. Like, nothing. Yeah, you're right. Nothing's ever deleted. It was deleted from my Z chat. That's for sure, though.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think there definitely is some value in this data because it shows, like, this is how people work. These are logical workflows. This is how people talk and banter to each other, that there is value in that data and using it for AI training. And it's one of those things, like, you just never would have thought. Like, you thought if the company goes out of business, they just walk up into the sunset gracefully and like, no, we're going to squeeze every ounce of revenue out of this.
What's the prompt on that? Here's a failed company with all the information, chats, and repositories of everything that they've done. Tell me how they failed, and let's learn from this. What's the prompt there? Like, how do we make this better? How do we use this technology to get back at it again and create something?
I think it's more of, this is how people talk. Like, so if you upload your entire Slack history, like, this is how people talk. This is how people get things done. This is, if somebody asks for something, this is how the appropriate way to react to it. It's all training data. Like, we can talk all day about, synthetic training data and hypotheticals, but this is actual real world data that they can upload to their AI models and learn from it.
So speaking of uploading and stuff like that, like, I recently made the plunge from ChatGPT to Claude, and I have like this note on Apple Notes of like all these random thoughts that actually started in 1997, and on actual pen and paper, like, it's like the idea right there, just like funny things, whatever, just like the go-to bag of swag, right? And so then I was like, I wonder if I should just like upload this, so number one, it can understand like my thought process and stuff, and like how to like, or maybe even better, like, hey, you can use this when you're trying to convey like this thought. And then I was like, I don't know that I want to do it. Like maybe like, you know what I mean? Like maybe I'm just training this data to have the, you know, the inner thoughts of Brian Deitch. And so then I just ultimately gave up. And so I did paste it into Microsoft Word just to see how many words total I had in that doc. Does anyone want to take a guess?
100,000.
So this is 97. All right, Chris is a 100 grand. What do you think, Glenn? Over or under 100,000?
Over.
Definitely over. Yeah.
Was that a lot over?
142,615.
Just random thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah, just random thoughts. One day, maybe I'll just make it a book and people can read it. Be like, this guy's got issues.
Yeah. Well, if we ever get to that SE PEBCAK book, then we'll be sure to add that as like the appendix or something.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of bad stuff in here.
It's uncensored, unfiltered.
Yeah, it's like what my therapist always says. That'll be $175. So.
That's not the only thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never mind.
Yeah, I don't know if this is like the last adding insult to injury, because even when like the company 23andMe, if anyone's ever spit into a tube and sent it off to them to try to get your ancestry data, they went out of business and they sold the data. They sold the company, they sold the data to, I don't know, some PE firm that's probably going to sell out to some pharmaceutical brand. It's the same thing. It's like, you know, I worked diligently for this company, I acted in good faith, and now you're just going to take all that data that I produce and feed it into some AI model. It feels a little bit like a betrayal, I think, to the employees.
Weren't you able to opt out of that before that happened?
23andMe, yes. You were able to opt out, but you had to actively go in and do it. So if you did nothing, your data got sold, but you have to go in there explicitly and delete the data before it got sold.
Yeah.
That's the one where people were submitting like saliva samples from their dogs and their pet fish, trying to find out what they were, or something like that.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
How did you get spit from a fish, though? The dog I get, right? Just dig a tree in front of them.
I don't know.
And that was my beef with it, was sure, it'd be interesting to know where this company thinks that I'm from, and I don't know, find long lost children that I don't know about. But there's just too many stories of 23andMe selling your data to pharmaceutical companies, or that some long lost uncle found out this person's a murderer, and you're the one that outed him because you spit in a tube and they matched the DNA to you. It's like, I don't know, it's a little too much responsibility.
You find out you have 40 kids because you're a dentist in Oregon.
No joke. Somebody that we all know pretty close found out that he had a illegitimate child with somebody through this DNA testing service, that he was a 50%
Sounds pretty legitimate
to some girl. And the girl's like, I think you're my dad.
I thought he was a sperm donor, and that's how he got that. No? When he was younger?
He was not a donor. He this person legitimately had a relationship with somebody, thought this person was not of sound mind when they said that they were pregnant, but actually turned out she was pregnant.
And years later,
he finds out he has an illegitimate child with this person.
A crazy illegitimate child.
I hope the best for the girl and the boy, or the dad.
The dad.
That sounds wild.
Yeah.
He's like, no, you don't get it. Your mom's crazy. She's like, I know. I vindicated.
Yeah.
All right, for our last topic, it'll be a rotating topic every week. This week, we're going to go back to the original NES, the Nintendo Entertainment System. What was the best game on the NES? And since Brian brought up this topic, I will let Brian go first.
Oh, man. I will go, I had a ball. I had so much fun with that game, like that whole console over the years. Started with Super Mario Brothers, then Duck Hunt, right? And then just having it was Excite Bike. Like Zelda sucked. I hated it, but I played it all the damn time. There was the Tecmo Bowl, Tetris, all great games. But I will never forget. I think my 13th birthday, going down to what was it called? What was that old? It was replaced. Walmart replaced it. It was some funky, whatever. It doesn't matter. Buying Super Mario Brothers 3, boys, and that was the ish right there. That game was insane. That was
a good one. Was that the one where you picked the turnips?
Punch Out? No. What are you talking about? No, you can start to fly with Raccoon Mario. Like you would duck behind the white block and then get a warp whistle. I did not know this. What the heck is wrong with Chris? We're only 7 years apart, man. You need to go back and get yourself a Nintendo.
Nice. He's probably got one. He's got a Lego Nintendo.
Yeah. I mean, it was better than Punch Out, right? Remember the Power Glove? Better than all those games.
Yeah. Mike Tyson's Punch Out was a classic for sure.
Yeah. They didn't have Dance Dance Revolution yet for the NES, right?
No, that was
Super
PlayStation 1. No, I didn't.
It could play four tones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was Glenn a big DDR player?
Maybe. That's how I got my groove on. Yeah.
Mike Tyson's Punch Out, that was 100% for sure a classic. And then later on, after they lost the licensing rights, they just called it Punch Out. But yeah, that was definitely a classic.
It wasn't a licensing, wasn't it? Like he did that thing, like he raped somebody, right? I'm not casting
he might
version.
be. Yeah.
I thought it's because he went to prison and they just changed it to Punch Out.
Yeah, he definitely has legal troubles, but maybe it was a combination. What
NBA version was on NES? Wasn't there an NBA game on there? It wasn't.
No.
NBA Jam.
Metroid was good.
SNES and
Mega
Genesis. Man. Mega Man. Metroid. Samus.
Duck Hunt. That was the best one.
Duck Hunt was a good one. Yeah.
A
lot of
Super Mario Bros. 3. That was, you still, I will play that today if I had it in front of me.
A lot of misconception that people think Metroid was a man because he was in the suit, but it's actually a girl. It was Samus.
What?
A lot of people don't know that. It's a girl, Samus. Yeah, she's Metroid.
Yeah, I'll never forget that. She took her mask off. I was like, "What the hell? This is a woman." And I'll be honest with you guys. Like today's day and age, like this sounds super appropriate, but like we go back to when was that 1987, and you're playing that as a little boy. And then I felt victimized, man. I was like, what the heck? This is not real.
The other misconception is that the Legend of Zelda, they think the guy with the shield and the sword is Zelda. And like, no, Zelda is the princess.
Yeah,
his name is Link. The guy with the sword and the shield, his name is Link. Zelda is the
Brian
princess.
Brian got catfished.
I got catfished by Metroid for sure.
Yeah. So I will say,
voice game
in the misconception category, I love, this is my personal thing, I love correcting people when people say Frankenstein's the guy that with the bolts coming out of his neck. I'm like, no, Frankenstein was the doctor. The monster he created was Lurch.
That's actually spot on to the Addams Family.
Yeah.
Wasn't the guy's name Lurch?
Yeah, people call him Frankenstein. I'm like, nope, it was not Frankenstein. That's Lurch. Frankenstein was the doctor that created him.
So did you have a Nintendo, Chris?
I was more of a Sega. I was the non-Nintendo.
16-bit genius over here.
And the Dreamcast, I had the PlayStation. Not to say that I never played it. I was friends of people that had the Nintendo systems, but I was more the non-Nintendo track.
So, neither of you guys had a Commodore 64? None? Even before that?
I had an Atari. I had an Atari 1600.
Oh shit! Wow, I still have the Atari 1600 with all the games. So
I've gone down a rabbit hole on people reverse engineering all the code in Super Mario Bros. 3. And have you ever heard of the golden mushroom? You're like, what the hell are you talking about? Right. And it turns out there was a significant amount of RNG with the Hammer brothers that would move around the map. And if you can get this one guy to move all the way around the map to this one particular part of the world. You defeat them, you'd actually get like, instead of a 1-up that would normally be green and white, it was gold and white. I'm like, how the hell did people actually find this stuff? It's so wild.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy that they had all these Easter eggs built into it. And when you think about the original NES game, and even with Sega Genesis and PlayStation, N64, like when that cartridge left the factory or that disc left the factory, like that was it. Like if there's a bug in it, if there's an Easter egg in it, like that was it. It's not like today where they can say, oh yeah, there's this bug, we'll just issue a patch and you have to download this patch for it. Like it was read-only memory. Like it had to be working perfectly on day one that it was released, compared to today's games where there's like game-breaking mechanisms on day one. And like, oh, yep, sorry, we'll issue a patch eventually to fix this.
Well, in the original Super Mario Brothers, that when they were building it, I think it was the original one, they had levels that they decided not to use, but rather than remove the game, they just took it off the map, I guess.
Yeah,
or
like
maybe
the hidden levels. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was called the Lost Levels. And I think there was, I don't know if it was Super Mario Brothers, the original one, or the third one, because I've been watching too many stupid videos on this. But it was like, there's like 16 lost levels that are in there.
Yeah.
Jeez, man. You're on it.
Kind of cool. It was just built in, right? So,
yeah.
And these emulators allow people to do all the wild stuff of finding it.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is
everywhere.
So what you're saying, the Easter eggs were actually bugs of code they didn't finish, and they just threw it in there to keep the game going, or to, instead of having to redo the whole game.
Yeah, they just kind of took it off the map for whatever reason.
Yeah.
That's not
like what was the up down left right. Like there's the Contra one.
Contra
yeah,
one.
that was that was a legit Easter egg.
Yeah,
that was kind of built into it.
Yeah, all the old cheat codes.
Yeah, Game Genies, man.
Game Genie. Yeah, like changing the ROM values of that, and I could say they definitely don't make games like they used to.
So do you know that there was an expansion port on the bottom of the original NES?
What?
I did not know that. Not for the original NES, no.
Yeah, there was actually like a port there, and people have modded it to make it to where you can have like wireless controllers through that. Nintendo never did it. All their other consoles, they had, they took advantage of that expansion pack. But that was the one that never.
Yeah, that's cool. I remember like the N64. I think it was like for GoldenEye or Star Fox or one of them. You had to have the RAM expansion pack, and you pop it in, and that was the only way you could play it.
Yeah.
Or the Rumble packs. I remember that. Before controllers had vibrators built into them, you had to buy the Rumble pack.
Pause. What?
Yeah. Now, like, I mean, the example I throw out all the time is like Call of Duty. Like, I bought the latest Call of Duty. I bought a physical disc of the Call of Duty, and the only thing on that physical disc is the installer to download the 65 or 100 gigabyte download package for it. And it's like how far we've come that the entire game used to fit on a disc or a cartridge, but now it's just like you buy the disc and it's just an installer that you have to go online to download the rest of the game.
Do they have licenses anymore, or is it just kind of built in?
They do.
Maybe in the background.
Okay. Yeah, it's one of the interesting things that a little bit of, I don't know, maybe you can call it a controversy, is the company Ubisoft created this game called The Crew, and it's like a racing game, and it was like an online only game, and just arbitrarily one day they said no more Crew, like we're turning off the servers, sorry. And then the people that actually bought the game for $40, like, WTF, like this was a good game, like you could operate it in single player mode, and just because you took your servers offline doesn't mean that we should lose access to our game. And like, nope, sorry, big middle finger to you, like we took the servers offline and you're SOL, no more game for you.
So they got sued for that?
They are getting sued for that right now. And I mean, it's not the first time it's happened. Like Amazon has done this too. Like people have purchased movies. Like you could rent a movie from Amazon. That's all fair that you return it after the rental period's over. But if you buy a movie from Amazon says you purchase a license to access this movie, and at any time they have the right to they reserve the right to
Apple does the same.
Carry this movie anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think all the streaming. Yeah.
$20. They're like, sorry, we don't want to host this movie anymore. So your SOL, like you bought it, but no, you bought a license to access it, and we choose not to host it anymore.
Okay, fine. I'll just download it off the internet then.
I know, right? Like that's why people pirate stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know the reference to this, but apparently in Metroid, there's a pastor that if you typed in Justin Bailey, you would start without the power suit look.
Justin, man. All right, we're going to have to figure it out who that is.
Yeah. And you guys knew about the, when playing Duck Hunt, what you could do with the other controller? So you had the gun and then you had the controller, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Do you know what the controller would do?
No.
I think it would control where the ducks fly.
Yeah, you like their movements. Yeah. Not necessarily where they fly, but just how quickly they pivot from left to right, up and down. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you hitting it with your feet and while you were shooting at the same time.
Well, if you were like, competitive and you're playing against like your cousins and stuff, right? Want to have fun with it.
Yeah.
Mess with them a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we continue to get great comments about our dad joke of the week. Dad joke of the week. This week, Glenn is up.
All right. I told AI a joke. It said, I need to run that through my humor model. No?
That's almost
awesome.
as bad as ransomware.
No way.
Best joke ever.
Humor.
Love it. Love it.
There's not even a pun in there.
Yeah.
All right. Backup joke. Yeah, backup joke.
All right.
You don't need a backup joke. That's good. We can go with it. Oh.
So is it, why was AI so calm under pressure?
Why is that, Glenn?
It had great neural control.
AI slop dad jokes. Way to deliver, buddy.
Quite appropriate.
Oh my god.
All right. We'll try again. Sorry to the listeners. We'll try better.
All right.
I don't think the listeners care.
No, not this late. So, all right.
All right. To wrap things up, Polymarket is getting the regulator hammer ready. Apple is cleaning up notifications to preserve privacy. Dead companies are monetizing your data, and long live Duck Hunt. That's all I have for this week. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode. You can find us on LinkedIn. Links will be in the description. Follow us on Instagram at PEBCAK Podcast. Thank you to our listeners and subscribers. Rated us 5 stars in iTunes Store and Spotify, and left us a review. We appreciate you all spreading the word to help grow the show. The best way to find us is search for the PEBCAK Podcast in your favorite podcast listening app. My co-hosts Brian Deach and Glenn Medina. I'm Chris Louie. Thanks for listening. We'll see you all next weekend. As always, have a nice day.
Bye,
Felicia. Have a nice day.